I believe one of the biggest problems that clarinetists run into today is a focus in the clarinet sound that is not shared between all aspects of the equipment. So often, I believe classical clarinetists are playing on a horn with a bore that is too big in specific areas, and invariably that leads to biting. Biting to raise the pitch. And it's interesting because we live in this almost dystopian clarinet future where we hear biting and we don't immediately identify it as a problem. And I hear professionals all the time that are biting. And I've worked with people who have ended their careers early because of jaw pressure, TMJ, problems biting into their lip. And I believe it's due to a lack of focus. Focus solves so many problems. Projection, intonation, color, and ease, and lack of biting. And so a lot of players are playing reeds that are, in many cases, too thick in order to achieve that focus, because the thicker the reeds you play, in general, the more focus you achieve. But that can limit your projection and your focus from a distance. Are you focused here, or are you focused there? So one of the biggest tests of, is your horn focusing? People talk about throat tone F, and how a lot of people I've talked to that wanted to play Selmers in the past, like Series 9, Series 10, but haven't, was because throat tone F was flat or because it was unfocused. Obviously throat tone A, throat tone B flat, G sharp, that's a good test of a clarinet, but it can very much be impacted by your barrel, length of barrel, internals, taper of barrel, but also your mouthpiece, exit bore, curve, what kind of reed you're playing. So I have 10 R13s. I'm limiting myself to 10. All of them, you might ask, do I own all of them? No, I don't own 10 R13s. I own 16. But I'm limiting myself to 10. And I'm going to try to pick them semi-randomly. Obviously, once I start to play them, I know what which horn I'm playing. And this might be a slightly longer video. But what I'm testing is alternate F sharp. F sharp, two side keys. So there's a master class on YouTube in which Donald Montanaro talks about how side F sharp does create a better tone. But on most horns, it's flat. Now, you can take that to mean that he looked for horns that had a really nice side F sharp. And I simply believe it to mean that the bore on those horns is more, it has a lot more projection, has a lot more focus. And I'm going to do this with a couple different barrels too, and a couple different mouthpieces. Just to show you that it's not foolproof. Sometimes throat tone F sharp can be in tune, and there might be a problem somewhere else. Again, focus must be shared throughout the system of focus in the reed, ligature, mouthpiece, barrel, horn, upper joint, even the bell. All right, so I'm going to play a few notes. I'm starting off with a 79,000. I'll tell you the serial after I play. And I'm going to play a few notes, and I'm going to play F, F sharp, and then I'm going to do normal F sharp, so you can hear the difference. So that's what we say is a very focused horn, I think. Focused setup. My mouthpiece is certainly focused. If anything, the pitch leans somewhat on the high side because two of the orchestras that I play with do play on the high side. So all right, F, F sharp. Nope. F normal F sharp. Much more in tune. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna try to move quickly. I'm not gonna tell which one it is. I want this to be somewhat objective. Horn's not quite as focused. Nope. There we are. Nope. This is 106,000, 1968. Okay. That's sharp. That's starting to get really sharp. But even though that's sharp up top, which might mean this horn is starting to get blown out, starting to go sharp, that third tone F sharp is still really flat. Awful. This was 553,000, 2005. All right. Much more in tune up top. All right, F sharp. Oh, that sounds usable. Very little difference between normal F sharp and side F sharp. That's actually usable. This is 72,000, 1963. All right. Almost usable. This is 132,000, 1973. Close, pretty close, but compare again with that 72,000. That's 100%. Part of what makes this so interesting is it shows that, yes, there were differences each year, but also there are inconsistencies for horns. Now, before you talk about, well, it's just an adjustment issue or it's a pad thickness issue. No, a lot of these horns are on the same pads. A lot of them are on original pads from the factory, very thin skin pads. All right, I'm not gonna look. So I can already tell you this is German silver. It's got a different type of resonance to it. There is focus, but it's a little different. All right. Ooh, that's just about usable. Not quite. This is close. This is 71,000. So 71,000's almost there. Listen to 72 again. Oh, we're going to put the 72. Here's the 72. That is absolutely there. 71,000 again, almost there. It's close. close. We might be able to find this one. Stay tuned on this one. All right. I'm not looking. I always want to look. That's a nice focus. It's always a good sign. It's close. I would say that one is the second closest. I think I could actually use that one. Yes, I can use that one. This is 82,000. 1964, 65. The records don't exist for those years, so you kind of have to guess. All right. That's German silver. The focus is a little different. Absolutely not, but I think that might be an adjustment issue. Listen to how good that one F sharp is. That is one that I think the cork height might be affecting. But also, I don't hear quite as much focus, so maybe not. A clarity to it. It's just flat. This is 57,000. This is a really early one because, and in a lot of ways, it's not quite as practical. All right. All right. Another German silver one. There's a nice focus there for sure. And there you hear, even if the pitch isn't quite there, the tone is absolutely better than the first finger F sharp. It's close. I think that's one that we can find it through a barrel adjustment. And last one. That was 63,000. That one's 1960, 61. Last one. That one is really set up well. But not there. So, this is a horn I got. This is 60,000, 1959. I got this from Ron Rubin and the Philly Orchestra. It's good. It's a touch blown out. And that focus is, it's a very comfortable horn to play, but it doesn't quite focus. It also doesn't help that this horn is so early that some of the pitch is a little weird. In the left hand, that's 60,000. Let me compare while that's in your ear, once again with my favorite one, which is that 72,000. I actually want to lower that pitch a little bit on that 72,000. That is a really tight bore. So 72,000 is interesting. For a while, Buffet used matte keys, German silver, solid German silver, and then they switched to a nickel plating. And I'm trying to get the exact year. I don't even know if Buffet has records of when they switched or why they switched. But in my opinion, some of the best ones I've ever played are 72, 3, and 4,000. These are the horns, and B-flats specifically. These are the horns that maintained a smaller body of the German silver horns. But when they switched to nickel plating, the horns got lighter, and there's an amazing resonance and an amazing agility to these horns in terms of how focused they are. What I think happened is they felt the sound was too bright up close, and then by the time we get to 79,000, where did I put that one? 79,000. The walls got a little bit thicker, and also the bore got a little bit wider to try to darken the sound. But that beautiful focus is gone. So I think one of the big myths is Buffet was always really inconsistent. Yes, they had inconsistencies, but a lot of the inconsistency was year to year. They had a different design, or they had a different idea of what they wanted to do, or the guy reaming the bores had a different training or a different ideal. And in changing the walls and changing the tonal placements, there was so much design variation. Nowadays, everybody says, oh, you got to try, 15 at least R13s to find a good one. And that is not due to difference in ideal. I think that's more so due to inconsistency. Not to say that you can't get a great R13 today, but finding one with that F sharp to just ring out perfectly in pitch, I don't know that I've ever played one. Now, again, this is for my mouthpieces, my Fedele that I like, the type of barrel that I like, the type of reeds that I like. So I'm going to try these again in part 2 with some different barrels, a couple different mouthpieces, and maybe a couple different reeds too. So stay tuned.